Oh no, food insecurity at an all-time high. Oh, the bees, the bees. Who cares? Uh, I don't know about you guys. I live in the New World, and bees are rather inconsequential to the proper human diet first. There is no requirement for bees other than the bees themselves. Now, I assume they're edible. I wouldn't mind eating a few after I de-stingered them. But even those in the keto community, I'm carnivore, so I don't require it. And the grasses that grow, they're self-pollinating, like most. Corn will do that. The leafy greens will do that. Tomatoes, they only require the wind. And there are some, there are native pollinators that we have in the New World. So you can look at bats, honeybees, mosquitoes, several flies, including the butterfly, the moth. Again, there is no drama here. There is no tragedy. There is no nothing. All right. And again, in the community, the keto community, who probably would eat some veg. Again, all those vegetables don't require pollination. Look it up, or several of them. Okay, I know lettuce doesn't. Avocados predate the honeybee here in Mexico. Matter of fact, the entire native Mexican food staples, those things that the Aztecs had, they predate the honeybee from the old world. So no Mexican, I live in Mexico, I am Mexican, there's no Mexican that would suffer from not eating his native food here, given us by the Aztecs, the Toltecs, the Olmecas. I could go on and on and on and on. So I think that people who are afraid most of the honeybee situation are people who eat garbage food that isn't required in the first place. And you can argue with me in the comments if you want. I'm happy to share human physiology with you. I don't have a problem with that in the world. And I promise I won't get tribal. I won't get angry. You can see my face. I know what I know. And I also know what I don't know. And if you come up with a challenge, I'll be more than happy to look it up. Remember, I'm a native New Worlder myself. Yeah, my genes came from Europe. And I don't know who brought the apples and the pears over here. But again, I'm happy munching on a rabbit. Some of the native fauna that exists here, I have no problems chomping down on that till the day I die. Eggs aren't just from chickens. There's plenty of natural fowl in the New World that lays eggs, and those would be just as delicious. Yum. So again, freaking out over food and worrying where your next calorie is going to come from. Yeah, it's a real fear for the ignorant, and I mean that in a nice way. I don't mean ignorant like you're ignorant, like you're a dumbass. No, I don't mean that at all. You literally don't have the information, or you've chosen to reject the information. Well, that's up to you. Now, if you want to save the honeybee, you pay for it yourself. I don't mind at all. Hey, more power to you. I hear Morgan Freeman set up or bought a bunch of cropland in order to save the bees. That's what we need. What I don't want you to do, though, is stick a gun in my head and say, hey, we have decided to force you to pay a tax to make sure that we have enough bees, okay? No, guys. Again, my two economic principles, laissez-faire and caveat emptor. So laissez-faire says, leave me alone. Keep you and your government morons out of my face. I have nothing to do with you. I don't require you. I don't even want you. Tell me something the government does for me that I can't do for myself. 1, 2. Caveat emptor, let the buyer beware. Hey, people are going to swindle you. I've watched enough Star Trek to know that Ferengi are pretty ruthless folks. But you know what? If you're an astute customer, you can always tell a Ferengi no, and they won't stick a gun in your head. All right? So, those are the worst of the worst of the worst. That's capitalism turned on its whatever. All right? So I really couldn't care less about the honeybee. Personally, I don't eat honey. In all transparency, I eat things that the honeybee has nothing to do with, not even remotely close. And if you are, that's okay. And you know what? You have a right to pay into some community that you join to save the honeybee. No, I can't keep you from doing that. I wouldn't want to. That's not my job. Again, laissez-faire. I leave you alone. You leave me alone. Okay? So I just kind of wanted to touch on that. So several of the veg that the keto community likes to eat are wind-blown or native pollinated in the New World. So I don't know about old world keto, but of course you have the honeybee over there. Now, if they're getting reduced, that's your problem in Europe. Really, that's across the pond for me. I have European friends. I love them dearly, and Europe's problems are Europe's problems, and my problems are my problems. And if the Europeans return to their let's just call it the Neanderthal diet if you want, they would be a lot happier and a lot healthier. This is just an opinion. You can believe what you want. But again, so bottom line, bees, well, they're neat. I know they sting, and they cause little children to run around with a bunch of EpiPens because bees are actually, look, cost benefit, what do they actually give me? Nothing. What dangers can they actually do to me? I haven't studied this, but maybe they're invasive. Maybe they steal food from native species. We know they sting, and their stings can be fatal for people who are sensitive to the apitoxin. So again, there's no logical decision for me to say, yeah, we have to save the bees. You know what? Sálvese quien pueda, man. To each his own. Save yourself. If these bees were designed to be here, then they're designed to be here, and they will thrive. Humans also have a right to live their lives. Okay, if our lifestyle impinges on them, well, survival of the fittest. Isn't that what you guys learned at school, right? Charles Darwin, survival of the fittest, evolution. Hey, before a new species comes into play, another one has to die out. I'm so sorry about that. The other thing I know is I don't play God. If you want to play God, you play God. You play God with your money. You play God with your time. You play God with your resources. Do not impose your godliness on me, okay? And I promise I'll keep my Latin Rite orthodoxy away from you. I really will. I may suggest it. I may mention it. I may even try to influence, because it's an awesome lifestyle. I've never had that religion turn me wrong in any way, shape, or form. As a matter of fact, it teaches love. Yeah, love. Well, I don't love you back. I know. It's okay. I love you anyway. See you later. Bye. Okay, so that's that. Stop being so insecure and stop being so afraid and stop being so, oh. You have an internet. What do? You just watch porn and shit all day? What's your problem? You know what? There are other things on the internet other than porn. Isn't that amazing? Why don't you actually grab this thing called a mouse, and why don't you go to a website, and why don't you click on the honeybee and read everything? And I mean a week or two. Do nothing but read about the honeybee. What plants it pollinates, what plants are important to you, do you even need it? How many people do honeybees kill every year? And now we have this, Africanized bee. All right? So again, there's plenty of resources out there. Look, really, in the modern day, if you're ignorant, it's because you want to be. Okay? You're afraid to speak your mind. I don't want to look at it because I don't want to know the truth. And this is definite. I'm not listening to you. Nobody listens to anyone. Okay? They just talk, but they talk a lot of shit. They actually don't talk. Things they've looked up, things they can say, well, here's my evidence. Well, you're a jerk. Well, that may be. But gravity's still 9.81 meters per second. I could be the biggest a-hole there is on the planet, and nothing changes gravity. All right. So, again, bees, don't worry about them. They were brought here against their will, like the slaves. And who knows? Maybe maybe they're willing to die instead of serve a populace that, you know, bees are really good for nothing, unless you like honey. I mean, that's up to you. Again, you pay for it. All right. Be well, guys. We'll talk soon. Bye.